Woo. It's been a hell of a week for me. I think I got some people that are trying to get on. Hang on just a moment, you guys. Alright, I think folks are I think they're just trying to find it. I haven't pinned it yet. I could go to my, I usually pin everything at the top. So I'm going to leave this up for the next week. And then I usually take it and move it over to the blog. So, hey! So if I miss anybody, if anybody misses it this week, or if you're catching like an end of it, it'll be up for the rest of the week. So I usually post it after I'm done. I have been getting everything set out for like the next 30 days because I kind of realized I've been slipping a lot with my blog and what's been going on with me and the update and everything and what I'm doing. It's just, yeah, I think it's really, I think after the holidays, I kind of got lazy and stuff. Like right now, I'm doing the podcast in bed. So see, super lazy, super duper lazy. So I'm trying to pin the video to the top of the Facebook page so everyone can see it, because there's a few people that can't see anything right now. So I'm gonna get that set up for them, and then I'll go ahead and get started. Hey, Farron! Like, I'm super hyped up. I did my taxes today. I feel like such a grown-up. Anybody else do their taxes, or they almost did it? I didn't realize that you can file. Well, okay, so I work at home, but I didn't realize over the past 3 years since I started working at home that you can actually file like office supplies and internet. Like, there's like so many things. Hey, Ashley, I didn't know you could do all those things. So here I am. Didn't know, didn't even pay it, but like they get it. Hey, Sarah. But you can get up to like $10,000, you guys. Like in some of the states, I know the state that I'm in, they will give you like up to $10,000. Like I was able to put like my Uber on there, like my Ubers and stuff. When I was out of work, I was able to put up like stuff like me going to job interviews. Yeah. Mind-blowing. Like I didn't realize there's so many things that I really feel like I should know these things, but I just really didn't. I really truly did not know these things. Yes, I did. I amended everything. So the stuff that I amended, I got to go back a few years to get those amended. But the most recent one, the one that I just did today, that one I actually have to wait till February 1st because the expense form for the state of Texas is not available till February 1st. So yeah, I had to wait. But that's okay. I'm okay with waiting till the 1st. I got everything taken care of pretty much for this year. Surprisingly, for somebody who was like out of work for like half of last year, I didn't do too bad. It wasn't that bad. So even gonna slide baby daddy some money over. Isn't that? My friends are like, what the fuck are you doing? It's only right. Well, that's interesting. I get my taxes done and they never mention it. Yes. It's the only reason why I know is because my new job, they don't have a tax expert, but they have someone that'll help you out a little bit with your taxes. So don't make that side eye face. Don't make that side eye face. Listen, we went to court. I'm happy with the decision that the courts made. So, I'm a lot of stuff. Stop cussing. Stop it. I'm happy with him. Me and him in a good place right now. We good right now. I got what I wanted and then some. So, he don't hurt me because for most of the year there's some things that I'm sliding him money because there's some things I want him to get for the kiddos. It's specifically in North Carolina. That's why I'm sliding him money. So he ain't getting the whole cut. So just calm down. Just calm down. No, we in a good spot again. So I'm okay with him for now until he does something wild and rambunctious. Hey Kendra, how you doing? Thank you for jumping on. That's different. Okay. Yeah. No, he's good. He good. No, he not getting a cut because, for other reasons, but he getting a cut because he definitely, he should be getting the cut. Yeah. I need him to get some things for the kiddos. So it looked like we got a few people on. Yes, Farron, me too. Because anybody that's known my history and my timeline with my children's father, it has taken us a very long time to get us where we are now. And at some point, you would never have believed that we are cordial with one another. So it's really nice now. The moment that I can get his new wife, his wifey, on board, like this could be on and popping. Like as soon as she comes around too. But I'm not really gonna I'm not gonna put all my eggs in a basket that she'll magically wake up and stuff. So this week we got some good topics. These actually came from my own personal thing: spoiled men, mama's boys, and men who are more likely to be coddled by family. So this mostly came into play because I've been seeing someone, and I kind of sat back and I was listening to him complain about his family a little bit, and I kind of noticed something between his family dynamic and mine. A lot of the times in my family, particularly, they are really big about coddling the men in my family. Like they will go to the ends of the earth to protect them. Sometimes when they don't really deserve protecting a lot of the time. And with him in particular, it sounds like he has a very nice family that he comes from that loves him very much, that wants to make sure that, they protect him and they do things for him. But one thing that I kind of noticed, that he got to this point where he was complaining about them. And, I kind of had to sit back and tell him, hey, your family, they do a lot of things for you that, I know with my family and my family in particular, they just don't do it. I'm not really sure why. We never had that sit down and chit chat and talk about why they don't do a whole lot of things. I think mostly with me, it's because I've been away for so long from my family. A lot of the times it's just second nature when stuff really falls out of place for me. I don't really look towards them to pick me up, help me, or do anything a whole lot for me. A lot of the times it's actually like my close girlfriends that help me out with a lot of things if I have stuff going on. So usually my parents are like, I'm like on my last leg when I'm asking them for things. So with him, I'm sitting up here telling him, you really should appreciate the fact that they are doing these things for you. You really can't talk any crap about them. And it kind of put like a conversation with me and him that kind of changed a little bit of a dynamic with our relationship. Because he never, I don't think he had ever had anyone tell him, hey, that's kind of messed up. You really shouldn't be complaining about them. They're there for you. They're doing things for you. You should definitely take that into consideration. So he kind of came back and was like, I never really thought about that. And I asked him, I was like, do the women in your family, do they more so tend to coddle the men more so than the women? And he was honest with it, and he was like, yeah. And I was kind of like, yeah, that kind of sucks. Just like, are you serious? And then I didn't think about it. And then you sat back and I kind of watched a few things that week on social media, especially where it was, there are so many women, especially moms, that their sons will do something wrong, do something very, very bad. And instead of holding them accountable and saying something about it, they're sitting there like, oh, not my son. Or, or they have excuses on why their son made that particular decision and why he did the things that he did. And it was, I don't know if it was just that dynamic of what happened with me and him, and then watching that on social media, but I started a boot camp January 2nd, a dating boot camp. So I have about 10 women in the dating boot camp. Now that has literally been where most of my concentration has been going to. But they, oh gosh, it's like there have been a few moments where there have been aha moments in this boot camp. And one of them this week was finding like mama's boys. Like we're talking about men that they cannot function by themselves. I'm not saying that the guy I'm seeing right now, because he definitely is not a mama's boy. My children's father was a mama's boy, but he was on that spectrum where it wasn't bad. It wasn't like my kid's dad, his mother wasn't ever just always in our business, always in the mix. It was like one of them happy mediums. But she was saying that this was so bad, like she literally went on a date with this man and the mama was on the date. Like, we're talking about, this is like super duper bad. And she's like, well, how do I come from this? I'm sitting up here going like, I don't think this is something you can literally come from, especially if someone is like 40 years old. That's really, really hard to come back on and get them to like, behave like an adult at some point. But it was just, oh goodness, I had never come in contact with it, for the simple fact that any man that has that, like, that spoiled behavior where he can't, like, if he can't do things on his own, that's like a huge red flag for me already. And that's only because of the circumstances that I had with my ex. And he couldn't cook. He could clean somewhat, but he didn't know how to do laundry. There were so many things that he didn't know how to do. And it was like his mom stopped at a certain point on teaching him these things, and just sent him off in the world. Like, he joined the military and that was it. Like, that was his life. And I kind of sat back and I was like, I definitely don't want my son like that. And, when my son's with his father, his dad does everything. When the kids come and they're with me, I don't have to tell my kids, you need to do the dishes, you need to clean this, you need to do that. Like, these are things that my children actively do with me, because that's just the personality trait that I exude off to them. Now, their dad, he lets them get away with a little bit more than what I do. But with me, like, I noticed that, especially this past year when the kids came out here to Texas, and my son was like, I literally woke up one morning and the dishes were washed, the entire living room was clean, the table's clean. And I know people are going to be like, that's what he should be doing. He's 11. Yes, that is what he should be doing. And you are absolutely right. I didn't have to open my mouth and tell him. I didn't have to do things for him. So that's why it's very difficult, and it's hard for me to have that understanding with grown men that don't know how to cook, don't know how to clean. And they have that expectation out of me. Like, that's really what they have that expectation out of me for. And this woman was basically saying, all her life, she's 40. So she's like, all my life, I always dated men that didn't know how to cook. Like, I that wasn't a prerequisite for me. And I'm like, yeah, that needs to be something that needs to officially be a prerequisite for you. And I said, I'm just telling you this from personal experience. I had somebody that didn't know how to cook, and I had to cook every night. After a while, you get a little tired of that. And if he's a certain type of man, if he doesn't mind, the nights that, that you don't feel like cooking, going out and, buying food or doing something or doing whatever he wants to do, to compensate for the fact that you're not cooking that night. There got to a point with him, he didn't even want to pay for it. Like, he didn't want to pay for it. Like, bruh, you can't cook. Like, you can't cook. Your expectation is to have me cook. This is a night I don't feel like cooking. Out of, maybe about 2 or 3 months out of the 2 or 3 days out of the month, I might not want to cook. And I was like, and it's your responsibility to cook, and you don't want to cook at all, and you don't want to buy. You don't even want to buy. And he was in no shape or form interested in trying to cook. So it was like, it got to a point, like, I just didn't want to deal with that. So that was something that I kind of put in the back of my mind when I went back out dating. Like, I need you to know how to cook. I need you to know how to do those things. Oh yeah, baby, he know how to cook, so we good. So we're good. He knows how to cook. So, but, me talking to her and stuff, she was like, I'm going to implement that. So, we had this following week, like, the type of men that she was meeting online dating, she's like, that is my first question that I ask now. I was like, well, don't let that be your first question. Because it's already irritating enough when men do it to us. Like, I can only imagine how they feel if you do it to them. I said, ease it on in there. But it is still an important question to ask. So Ashley says, I met men that can cook, clean, but they were with women and wanted that to be their responsibility. I have never met that. I think these men, the ones that I do meet, Ashley, that can cook and clean and, take care of themselves, they know, and it's, I don't know if that's bad or not, but they know that they're like a rare, and I'm using air quotes right now, a rare gem. So they really try to lead with that a lot. The ones that I meet that do it, they're very arrogant about it. It's not that they want it to be another woman's responsibility. The ones I meet, they're really, really arrogant about it, because they know it's not a lot of men out there that do that. There are men that do it, but it's just not very many of them where it's like us, like, majority women, air quotes, everybody knows how to cook. So the ones I meet, they are quite arrogant about it, which is like, really? Like, you don't even have to be like that. You don't have to do that at all. It's just stop. just stop. They can't help themselves, sometimes. Okay, so Ashley's asking, what do I mean by lead with it? Sometimes men lead with money, where they live in a certain part of town, the type of job that they have. Like, when I was around military men, they always led with their rank, what their job was in the military. If they were, oh, I'm a grunt, or I'm in this and I'm in that. They are leading with the fact, on top of the fact of working and having their own place and having their own car, they're leading with the fact that they can cook and clean. So this will be something like when you're like, if you're online dating right now, this will be something that'll probably like stick out to you. You'll notice there will be some men that put on their profile, oh, I can cook, I clean, or they'll have food in their dating profile pictures. Like they'll have food that they cooked, and they're, sometimes they'll have food that they cooked and they're chefs. But if these are guys I'm talking about the guys that aren't chefs. They don't have chefs as their profession in their dating profile, but we're just talking about men that just put food pictures. They talk about, oh, I can cook, I clean, I got my own place, I got my own car. I'm talking about those men that specifically lead with that. I mean, all of these things that they're talking about, this is stuff they should be doing. They're adults. You're a grown man. You should know how to cook. You should know how to clean up after yourself. You should be working after a certain age, because men that I talk to and I date, they're in their 30s and up usually. Every once in a while, I get a 27, 28-year-old that'll sneak in, 29-year-old maybe. But for the most part, I date men. They're in their 30s and up. So by this time, you should already have a job. You should already have your own place. You shouldn't be living with your mom and stuff. You should have a car. Like, those are things that's an adult stuff. That's adult stuff. So they lead with these things because there's either going to be one or two things. They know for a fact that for a fact that that's considered a unicorn, and I'm using air quotes. And that's probably more than likely all that they really have to offer, besides maybe some penis. So, yeah. So Ashley says, gotcha. Let me see if I follow. A man that tells me he has a master's degree, he doesn't mention his job or pay level. Does that mean he's probably broke or a low pay bracket? No, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean he's broke. I mean, he might be broke. He might got some student loans because those are a motherfucker. But he's just someone he's just being arrogant with it. Like, I have a degree, but I don't ever just push that out. Like, I don't ever be like, oh, I have a degree in this and that. Because to be honest with you, like, what I have a degree in has nothing to do with the actual job that I've been in, the job market that I've been in over the past 10 or 15 years. Nothing. Like, it's absolutely nothing to do with it at all. I got a degree in criminal justice, and I'll be honest, the only time I've ever touched anything close to being anything criminal justice was when I did like cybersecurity for the Postal Service. Like, and I'll be honest with you, that is nothing like anything that's close to criminal justice whatsoever. I just kind of feel like having a master's degree, having a degree of any sort, sometimes they feel like that puts them ahead of other men that don't necessarily have that type of thing. So I just kind of like, I don't really like braggadocious type dudes anyways. That's never been really my type. They're a really big turnoff, and it's kind of like, if you're quiet, and I'm not saying just, be shut up and just don't say anything and sit there and look pretty. No, I'm saying like those type of men, just listen to them talk. They love talking about themselves, especially the ones that put all those things first. Degrees, food, I can cook, I can clean, I can do all this stuff. They kind of like, in a sense, they kind of sound like pygmies, but okay, yeah, that's a whole other topic though. Ashley says, right, I just figured if he was going to brag, why not brag about more? I mean, a master, let's not take away from the fact getting a master's degree is something that is a great accomplishment. But yeah, if they're going to brag, it's a guy thing. That's what they do. That's the thing that they do. But just pay attention to how they're bragging and what they're bragging about. I honestly would say that pay attention to what they're bragging about, because they can say, oh, I got a master's degree, and then you find out that they really don't. I think I had one guy do that to me. I think he told me he had a doctorate, or he was a lawyer. I think that's what it was. Yeah, he said he was a lawyer. And that's something that you can literally Google. You can literally Google if somebody, if somebody's actually, if they got a degree, not a degree, well, yeah, possibly a degree, but if they're a lawyer or not. But yeah, he lied about that. And I was like, why would you lie about that? And he is just like, I just thought, that'd be something you're interested in. I was really honestly looking for someone to just be honest. I didn't think that you lying would, why would you lie about that? Just, they lie about stupid stuff. It's so So weird. So weird. So weird. So weird. Yeah, he probably didn't, Ashley. Usually, they usually don't. So I'm going to cut things short unless you guys have any comments or questions or whatever. You had one say he was a science degree but was selling things out of his truck. Oh my God, yes. Oh, but Ashley, I cleaned out all my blogs. Ashley was saying that I had one say he had a science degree but was selling things out of his truck. It's on the blog. So Ashley, I cleared out all my blogs for the year, okay? There was a guy last year that told me he had some kind of science degree, and one of my homegirls told me to ask him why did he get this. I can't remember how the conversation went, but he lied about having a degree where he was basically saying he was a scientist. And then, I took his phone number, did a search for him on Facebook. That's another thing. Me and the ladies, like next week is going to be the final week, and that's going to be like our background check. No, not next week. We got a while to go. But next week is the week that we're going to be doing the thing about the background check and stuff. So we're basically going to be searching dudes, finding out who's married, finding out all kinds of stuff in the group. It's going to be crazy. But this one in particular, I took his number and found him on Facebook, found his Facebook page, and he was selling shoes that he was basically copping from like Tanger outlets and other stores and stuff, which, hey, that's no big deal to me. But if you say that you're a scientist, don't lie and say that you're a scientist and you actually just, boost shoes in Facebook groups. But yeah, I had that last year. Now I have nothing to hold me over between men and fuckery. Hey, Ashley, you don't need to have anything to hold someone over. You don't want to hold someone over anyways. You want them to thoroughly enjoy and appreciate your who you are. That's what you want. You don't want to be holding stuff over people's head. That's kind of like already what fucked up guys do with us. So yeah, there's no sense of doing that whatsoever. Don't hold anything over anybody's head. But okay, so topics next week, January 28th, podcast is going to be on here at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time again. Money, how soon is too soon to discuss money? I feel like it's never too soon to discuss money. Well, except for the first date. That's kind of okay. How soon to move in or not before marriage? 50-50 on bills or go big or go home. Child support and having babies with men behind on child support, and more information, like if anything cool comes up that I want to share with you guys next week about the dating boot camp, I'll share that with you next week. So I'm going to close this week out. Thank you guys so much for jumping on and listening to me chit chat and talk and stuff. I'm going to have a pretty boring week. It's going to be like super boring. So not too much going to be going on the Facebook page, but I'm going to try my best on my personal page not to get banned and blocked from posting for a few days. But I love you guys. You guys have yourself a great week. I will talk with you next Sunday. Bye.